Golf Association, an event that is, I guess, an extra 3 months in the making. So we appreciate you guys coming out tonight. We appreciate your patience as we figured out how to run and hold this banquet and honor the award winners in a safe and effective manner. And, you know, normally we do this in mid-December, but this year, I guess we'll do it right before the golf season kicks off, and that's just fine as well. So with that, I'm going to turn it over shortly here to Caitlin Hoganson from our staff to give out some of the annual awards, and then I'll be back in a moment to help out with some of the other stuff later on. Up here to my right is our current president, Mr. Bill Eby of the Davenport Country Club, and Mr. Eby is going to help actually hand out the physical awards. So with that, Caitlin, if you want to come on up, I'm going to turn it over to you, and we'll get going. Thanks again, everyone, and welcome.
All right. Thank you, Chad, for that. The first award that we're going to be presenting tonight is the PGA Professional of the Year, and that is going to Adam Coates of Spencer Golf and Country Club. Has been the PGA professional at Spencer Golf and Country Club for the past 10 years. During his time at the club, the membership has continued to grow, and there has definitely been a focus on family-friendly golf. Under his watch, the junior golf program went from having only 5 golfers to having over 40 kids. He also started a PGA Junior League at the club, and he coached the Northwest Iowa All-Stars, which is comprised of juniors from surrounding clubs that he actually took to Georgia to compete in a big national tournament. And then he also launched the 936 Challenge, which if you haven't heard of that, you should look into. It's a really cool development program. To further support these juniors, Adam constructed a kids-only locker room, which allows the kids to store their golf clubs at the course, and it also kind of gives them their own little zone in the golf course, and he actually personally built that for them. There have been huge improvements made to their Thursday night men's league, which went from not existing to currently having over 100 golfers and taking up the entire golf course. In addition to running the member events, Adam also assists with the administration of the Northwest Amateur Golf Tournament that has over 384 participants each year, which is amazing, and one of the biggest events, if not the biggest event in Iowa. This past year, the club voted to upgrade to a new irrigation system, which totaled roughly $850,000. Adam and his wife led the charge on the fundraising and personally contributed to the project, and in 3 months, the club was nearly halfway there with the funds, so I'm sure they're even closer with that, so very impressive work there. Finally, a longtime member, Thomas Howe, said this about Adam: "I personally don't believe anyone in the over 100 years of Spencer Golf and Country Club has done more to raise the enthusiasm and respect for the game of golf." So with that, Adam, we'd like to present you with the 2020 PGA Professional of the Year Award.
Thank you very much. You know, this whole experience came as a surprise last November, and the only way you can sum it up is humbling. It's just been really humbling how much attention my membership has given to this, and how excited they've been, and you know, it's very humbling that the board of directors would you know, think I was worthy of this with all the talent in the state of Iowa, with the PGA professionals. But just can't say enough how much it means to me, and also the way the award works. It means so much that my membership would nominate me so thoroughly. I could tell when Caleb was reading that a lot of those came from my members, because they might have stretched some things a little bit here and there. I don't know that I was the irrigation fundraiser lead, but we do have some amazing things going on. It's so fun to be a part of it, Spencer. There's a lot of really special people that do a lot to volunteer, and and contribute to make it special. But again, thank you to the Iowa Golf Association. A lot of you in this room may not know me. I'm way up in Northwest Iowa, and most of those that I do know are those that come up from the Northwest Amateur and participate. We appreciate you doing that. But the Iowa Golf Association has been such a friend to us, trying to run a great event, and over the years just helping us with recommendations and being a partner to try and host as good a quality event as we can. So, you know, as Caitlin said, we get a lot of participants, and I'm always amazed that they're willing to come all the way up there, spend a few days, you know, away from work and their family, and we just really appreciate you doing that. It's always fun to see you come up and see you that time of year. So, again, thank you so much. It really means a lot.
Sheryl Dusenberry of Atlantic Golf and Country Club. Sheryl has served as the manager of the club for approximately 8 years, and during some of those years, she actually taught full-time as a 6th grade teacher in the middle school. Yeah, probably a very patient person. Sheryl has brought incredible leadership to the club, and it was mentioned numerous times in the letters that she has had a significant impact on the financials of the club because of her attention to detail and her drive to host events and encourage new members to join. During the pandemic, Sheryl coordinated the preparation and delivery of sometimes over 120 takeout meals to waiting cars, and in many of those cases, she was the one with the mask on out there delivering the meals to those members. She would listen to the governor's proclamation daily to make sure that she was keeping her employees safe and also the membership safe while keeping the club open. Members also highlighted her communication skills, noting the organization of a monthly newsletter, weekly emails, and urgent alerts to keep everyone informed. Sheryl assists with the annual Tournament of Champions, where she works tirelessly before and during the event to make sure participants have a positive experience. And they were fortunate to be able to hold it this last year in 2020, and they had even more participation than they expected. Jane Tyler, an Atlantic Golf and Country Club member, I think summarized her application perfectly. When I think of Sheryl, 2 words come to mind: dedicated and professional. So with that, Sheryl would like to present you with the 2020 Manager of the Year Award.
Thank you very much. Thanks to the Iowa Golf Association, to your board of directors, and to Chad Pitts for organizing this banquet and evening. My path as a manager is quite unique. It was 12 years ago in January, a cold night. The president at the time, Kip Harris, came to our door, knocked, and said, our manager's leaving, would you help us out? And I'd helped them many times, so the first night I thought about it, I didn't even tell my husband Stuart that he'd been at the door. A couple nights later, I visited with Stuart. I visited with our daughter Tess, visited with some of the other members, and I decided, yeah, I'll help you out, thinking it would be a year. Well, 9 years later, 7 of those years I did teach full-time, but through the help of the directors and the wonderful members and my staff, I was able to do it. Usually I would leave school and go to the club, but that was my choice, and I truly am honored that I'm still there. I could not have done it, like I said, without the direction or the support of all the club members. I've had a fantastic board, different presidents, and we laugh, but I couldn't have done it without my husband. He's my best, Stuart is my best paid or unpaid assistant. We laugh about that. He truly, when I was teaching full-time, I could not have done it because he has a job that's more flexible than mine. He'd get the mail, he'd run checks where they needed to be signed, so I'm fortunate there. Thank you, Stuart. It really has been fun, exciting, different than teaching. Probably do use some of my teaching skills sometimes. I was hardcore during COVID. You can ask the members that we survived, and you know, I say congratulations to Glen Oaks tonight because putting on even a banquet of this size and to the Golf Association for hanging in there and making this banquet happen, because I know after a year it's not always easy, and we appreciate it. And thanks again for making it happen, and thank you and congratulations to all the other honorees being honored tonight. Thank you very much.
Jeremy was hired at Veterans Memorial in 2010, and since he's been hired, he's tackled numerous projects, including irrigation issues, pest control, tree management, tee box and bunker restoration, and also fixing a broken drainage system. You kept busy. Good job. Early on, Jeremy proposed an aggressive tree plan which included strategically removing ash trees and replanting different species. The club had nearly 130 ash trees and had the potential to be affected by the disease. Currently 40 trees are being treated and the others have been replaced. Jeremy's foresight 10 years ago put Veterans Memorial in a place to deal with the disease that actually just hit the county this past year. In 2020, the club doubled its rounds played, and the golf course has been able to take the extra stress because of Jeremy's planning. He was able to keep the greens firm to accept the extra traffic, and that was through a hot Iowa summer, which, as all of us know, that's not always an easy task to do. Jeremy also has a very good working relationship with the club manager, Mike Boyman, that the members notice and definitely appreciate. Steve Crane, a current member, said this: "I have great gratitude for Jeremy's work and dedication to our course, and we have great confidence in the future of Veterans Memorial Golf Course because of him." So with that, Jeremy, we'd like to present you with the 2020 9-Hole Superintendent of the Year Award.
Thank you. First off, I'd like to say thank you to the IGA for having this event and having the award. Also, I'd like to thank the Board of Directors at Veterans Memorial and our members, because I just have tremendous support, and I'm very fortunate to be able to go to work in the morning and feel good about where you're going and really enjoy it. So I have to thank them, and lastly, I want to thank my wife for putting up with some crazy hours and not always understanding why you want to take ownership in what you have and where you work, but I certainly enjoy it and I appreciate her for it. So thank you.
Golf Club in Ankeny. Caleb has been with Briarwood Golf Club for 5 years, and as a member stated, the course has literally blossomed under his leadership in turf management. Caleb has definitely gone above and beyond to inform and educate the membership about his actions on the golf course. Tim Carlisle gave a really great example in his letter that I'd like to share with you. He said Caleb inherited a golf course that had a poorly engineered drainage system and an irrigation system that was in need of serious repair. He knew he would have to educate the board and membership to get the support he needed. So he created video sessions similar to the master's classes in engineering and water systems to communicate the repairs that were needed to support the golf course into the future. And as I understand from the letters, those videos have continued to educate the membership, so a really modern and creative way of keeping people informed. The projects that Caleb and his staff have completed have saved the clubs thousands of dollars. For example, he renovated several bunkers on the golf course, and he also built a rock retaining wall using materials that were already on the property. As we all know, Mother Nature can be very unpredictable, and on August 10th, a derecho, which I'm sure all of us know about, hit Ankeny that destroyed approximately 200 trees on the golf course. Caleb immediately organized staff, volunteers, and vendors to clean up the golf course, and by August 15th, so just 5 days later, they hosted their Briarwood Ladies Invitational. And then during that entire time, he kept the membership informed on a daily basis of everything that was going on in the course conditions. In addition to his work on the golf course, Caleb also serves on the Iowa Golf Course Superintendents Association Board of Directors. Bill Rummelhart shared this: "Caleb is there for me and my course. He's there for every member every day. My question is, when does this man sleep?" So with that, Caleb would like to present you with the 2020-18 Home Course Superintendent of the Year Award.
And I know Rumy's not here tonight, but to answer his question, I sleep a lot. I'd like to thank the IGA, Briarwood Board. It's a humbling award, but at the same time, like, I can't do anything that I do without the support that I have around me. From the membership to my staff, industry partners, we're all kind of in this together. And I appreciate everybody's support. Thank you.
Built in 1956, Hillcrest Country Club is located just outside the Des Moines Metro. In the past couple of years, the course has seen a significant boost in membership, and they currently have 265 members and a waiting list of 160 people, which could almost put that up against, I think, any course in the state. That's really impressive. The club recently completed a 3-hole green and tee reconstruction project and only have one original green remaining. The club has developed a 10-year plan to update this green, as well as make other improvements to the facility, so they continue to want to build off of what they've done. With any golf course renovation, the golf course superintendent plays a huge role in that, in the development and application of the master plan. So I definitely want to recognize Paul Mayhew for everything that he's done. Like many others in Iowa, the course was also impacted by the derecho and was able to open up after only a day and a half because of volunteer support of the membership and also the help of the grounds crew. Hillcrest Country Club has a great staff, and last year they hired PGA professional Adel Newman to be the clubhouse manager, and he has exceeded expectations. And I think, as anybody can imagine, taking on a new job in 2020 it's probably an intimidating thing, but Adam was transparent and adaptive and made sure that the club remained open while keeping everyone safe. And there were plenty of letters just raving about what Adam has done at the club. What's also impressive is the club had a full schedule of events in 2020, and they were able to carry out all of those. They didn't have to cancel a single event. Josh Scholl of TurfWorks account manager said this: "Through my work, I travel the state visiting golf courses and have the privilege to play many of them throughout the year, and I believe this club is one of the best in the state." So with that, we would like to award Hillcrest Country Club of Adel the 9-hole Course of the Year Award.
Again, thanks to Chad and the whole IGA staff for their work to get us all here tonight. Also thanks to Glen Oaks Country Club for opening the doors during all these times to have us here also. Really just to kind of follow up on what Caitlin said, a lot of what goes on at Hillcrest falls back on our superintendent. Paul's been there 22 years now, so his heart's there. He puts in a lot of time and makes it what it is. Last year, fall of 19, we started our 3-green renovation, which shut down the golf course, 3 holes in August, and then carried over to last spring. And trying to operate a 6-hole golf course during the pandemic it's tough. Paul has a staff of him and 2 other guys that work out there tirelessly day in and day out. So really, it falls back onto them for their hard work that they've put in. The membership out there is great. As Caitlin said, a lot of support, a lot of volunteer stuff to get us through to where we need to be. We're doing a bunch more renovations around the clubhouse now with the help of them. We're a healthy club, 260 members, 165 on a waiting list, so we're doing something right. the members take pride. So it's a great place to be. I've been there a year. I loved it. So everything's been good. Paul, thanks for all the work that you guys do out there also. And again, then just congratulations to everybody tonight, all the awards winners. Everybody's up here for a reason, so congratulations to all, and thank you.
Johnson. Hyperion Field Club is located on one of the highest points, if not the highest point in Johnston, and has the uniqueness of being bordered by Camp Dodge, which is a military training center to the south. The club was designed by Tom Bendelow and opened in 1910. There have been several updates to the golf courses over the years, but in the past 5 years, the course has taken on the regrassing of every green on the golf course, the reshaping of the 12th green, as well as a full bunker renovation. The bunker project specifically has made the course much more receptive to rain and can be playable within a few hours rather than a few days. And when I spoke with longtime member Carol Harris, she said this: "I actually don't mind getting in the sand now." Bob Johnson, a 44-year member of the club, shared this: "I've remained a member at Hyperion Field Club because the course is fun to play for all levels and welcoming to families. From the scorecard, it might seem a little short for the long hitters, but the trees and the challenge of the greens will make even the best golfer think twice." And I think any of you that have had the privilege of playing out there know about the greens at Hyperion. Hyperion has been the host to many high-caliber events over the years and was the lone host of the Hermann-Sani tournament from 1950 to 2012. And this also included fundraising for that Hermann-Sani scholarship. Since 2013, they have co-hosted the event with Echo Valley Country Club, and they're actually set to host this year in 2021. The course has an amazing staff, both on and off the golf course. The inside crew of Adam Pritchard, Ty Stewart, and Lieutenant General Ron Dardis organize numerous events for all ages, while the outside crew of Jim Siegel and his staff produce a top-notch playing surface. J.D. Anderson, a member of the club, shared this: "Hyperion members enjoyed a record number of rounds last year despite 2 major storms, which they were hit with the derecho, but then it's a tornado that went through just before that. So two huge storms that took out 100 trees. The hard work of Jim and his staff really showed in the excellent course conditions, and you would never know that there were two major storms out there. So with that, I'd like to recognize Hyperion Field Club for their resilience in 2020 and just everything else that they've done for golfers in Iowa. So with that, we have Hyperion Field Club as the 2020 18-hole course of the year.
Yeah, so for those that don't know me, I'm Jim Siegel, Superintendent of Hyperion Field Club. On behalf of the members, the Board of Directors, and especially the staff represented here tonight, I'd like to thank the IGA and the Board of Directors for this award. Everybody knows it was a very, very difficult year. The resilience that our staff showed with the COVID challenges, with not one but 2 major storms back to back, was remarkable. I look at this award as a reflection of the commitment, not only from the staff to delivering on expectations day after day after day, but to the membership of Hyperion, commitment to the game of golf, promoting the game, supporting the game, and a commitment to making Hyperion better year after year, investing in greens, bunkers, equipment, all that sort of stuff that makes our job more fun and a lot easier. So, yeah, just very, very humbled and very thankful to be here tonight. Thanks to Chad and to the Board of Directors.
Congratulations to everyone who's been honored already, and we look forward to honoring a few more. I'm going to have a new person come up and help me for this award handing out. So Bill Levy, you can take a break. Sean Flanders. Sean, come on up. For those of you who've been at this banquet the last couple of years, you've heard me say this before, but we've had this Volunteer of the Year award, which is really, we kind of look at the year specifically and kind of, who was one of our top volunteers and try to reward them for their work. And when Sean Flanders started helping us out at tournaments, he was literally almost at every single event, every single day, sometimes showing up before the staff got there. And we gave him this award twice, I think, and then pretty quickly we decided, well, if we want to give it to anybody else, like, we're going to have to do something here. So we just named the award after Sean. So Sean is a trooper and one of the best people around. So we should give him a round of applause. So it is my privilege to give this year's Sean Flanders Volunteer of the Year Award to Mr. John Brown. A lot of you guys know John, but if you don't know John well, I'll tell you he is a very big student of the history of the game, and certainly a student of the history of the game here in Iowa. John joined our board of directors in 2018. He currently serves as the chairman of the Iowa Golf Hall of Fame Committee. He does a wonderful job at administrating that, and in fact, we've made some fairly big changes to that committee over the last couple of years that John has helped lead. And he also serves on our Rules and Competitions Committee, where he's been a tremendous sounding board for us in giving opinion, but also running ideas by, things like that, because he has a wealth of experience playing at events during his career. But one of the biggest reasons that we have John up here tonight is he took on a task last year that was really arduous and a lot of work and comprehensive. He tabulated a list of every person who has ever won an IGA point event since its inception. You can see John's work on our website now, but through John's efforts, we now know that 377 different people have won an IGA point event over the years. And making that task even more difficult was sometimes we didn't know when events were point events back in the day. And so that required a lot of research and digging, and John took care of a lot of that. And so not only did this become something that was really neat to kind of look at and dive into, but it was a tool, right? We use it to kind of help us identify people who we might want to consider for nomination into the Iowa Golf Hall of Fame. So it served a dual purpose. It's pretty neat to look at and dig into, but like I said, it's a resource for us now. So with that, it is my pleasure to introduce our Sean Flanders Volunteer of the Year, Mr. John Brown.
Thank you, Chad. When I was a kid growing up, I remember my dad serving on the boards of various associations and clubs that were important to him. So serving on the board of the Iowa Golf Association allows me to live up to my dad's example and at the same time give back to the game that has meant so much to me in my lifetime. As chairman of the Iowa Golf Hall of Fame Committee, I do a lot of research on competitions on competitors who have been nominated for induction. So, like Chad said, I started making a list of everyone that ever won an IGA or IGA sanctioned point event golf tournament. As you can imagine, it was a big list, and it took a lot more time than I thought it was going to. But I really did enjoy the process of putting it all together. The all-time wins list is active on the IGA website. If you haven't seen it, I encourage you to check it out. I think it's important history to have on record, and it will now be very easy to maintain going forward. Special thanks to the IGA staff who are responsible for the finished product you see on the website. Riley Schmidt, Clint Brown, and Chad Pitts all put a lot of time and effort into this project. I also want to thank and acknowledge Rick Brown for his input. I leaned pretty heavily on Rick to help me fill in the gaps in the IGA records, and his book, Golden Harvest, was a huge resource as well. Thank you very much for this honor. It was unexpected, but very much appreciated. Thank you.
This next award is always a treat to hand out. It's the George Turner Distinguished Service Award, and the point of this award is to recognize career service to the game of golf, and this recipient certainly matches that. Our honoree this year for the George Turner Distinguished Service Award is Mr. Jim Carney. Jim's an attorney who spends a lot of his time down at the state capitol as a lobbyist. His institutional knowledge has been crucial to the IGA and golf in general. Over the years, to us, he's been an extremely valuable resource surrounding legislative efforts and golf, and surrounding golf, things like tax issues, environmental restrictions, and now, thanks to a pandemic, we can add Governor Proclamation translation to that list. A few years ago, we wanted to hold a state golf day. We didn't really know how to go about it, but we knew the man to call was Jim Carney. So we gave him a ring, said, "Hey Jim, we want to do this state golf day," and he pretty much took the reins from there. We've now had 2 proclamations issued over the past few years, issuing a state golf day at the Capitol, which is really, really cool. As alluded to earlier, this last year, 2020, Jim was our main resource for clarifications on the proclamations that Governor Reynolds would issue, sometimes every day, surrounding the pandemic. It is seriously not a stretch to say that from mid-March to the end of May, I was calling Jim 3-4 times a week, asking him to help me understand how golf courses were supposed to operate so that we could pass that message along to our member clubs and facilities. It got to the point where I kind of felt bad for giving him a call because I knew that he had a lot of other clients who were actually paying him to do work that he should probably give his attention to. But we know how much he loves the game, so he kept answering my phone calls and kept a smile on his face, I think, when he would answer all the questions that I had. And the other thing that we know is that through all of that effort down at the Capitol, Jim was probably one of the biggest reasons that golf stayed open last year. So that's a huge thank you from all of us for that. And as I said, Jim's performed this work on behalf of IGA and golf pro bono. We've never paid him a dime. And in sort of opposite way, he then tends to donate to our foundation himself. So we really benefit from Jim Carney in a lot of ways. So he totally personifies what the George Turner Distinguished Service Award stands for and is all about, and it's a true privilege to award it to him tonight. Our honoree, Mr. Jim Carney.
We're obviously behind on our billing. Good evening, everyone. It's great to be here. George Turner was a friend and a mentor. I met George when I was 15 years old, playing in my first state amateur. And I got to know him and his wife, Nancy, and then Jim raised me and his wife, June, and they kind of adopted me and took me under their wings. I found a photograph that was kind of interesting. George wanted to put together a team to play in the state team championship back in 1974. I was still in law school at the time. You can't see this, but I had kind of long hair. But we won the state team championship, and it was a wonderful trophy. I think George took that and tucked it away somewhere. But so I played golf with George for many, many years. He was a mentor, and he taught me about the game of love, the game of golf, which was love for him and love for all of you. So it's nice to accept this honor and award in recognition But, you know, George was quite a guy. And you know, I was fortunate to play, oh gosh, I was thinking back, state amateur, Northwest amateur, Tacoma amateur, Fort Dodge amateur, all the different tournaments at the time, and he was just a great guy. And so I think this award is a tribute to George. And in terms of keeping the golf courses open, I think around the country, and certainly here in Iowa, we have record rounds everywhere. Everywhere. I don't know of a course that didn't have record rounds. And that's just wonderful. You know, for what we are all going through with the pandemic, to think that we could still get out and play golf, wow, that was wonderful. I want to thank my partner, Doug Strike, for helping out on that. And we worked together as a team, and I think Chad understated, he called me about 10 times a day. And the real challenge was figuring out the best practices. You know, we'd get up, you have to take the sand, we have to take the grates out of the sand trap, protect the cups, we have to take the ball washers out. We're talking about every damn thing you can think of. It was crazy. You know, you have to spray the golf carts, what all you have to spray, and it was really, you know, we lived through an unbelievable time. But we did it. Yeah. So congratulations to all of you. Thank you.